ラベッドバーデラベッドバーベッドバーデラベッドバーデラベッドバーデラベッドバー DENNAVE DOVA デラベッドバーデラベッドバーデラベッドバー
なんか代表でミッチが一番影響を受けた選手とかっているのかちょっと聞いてみたいです。
Is there a player, probably a veteran player, that you've most been affected by on the playing on the Boomers?
Good question. There's a lot. I think someone that I'm close with and followed along with was David Barlow, who played for many years and played with our Melbourne United team. He has an incredible story of his personal journey and being, whether it's injuries or whether it's role changes, he's playing a guard and then he's trying out as a big and then he fell out of the team and didn't get picked because of injury. And then years later, I think it was 2019 World Cup, he got selected again because someone else got hurt and they pulled him in. And, when you listen to him talk about how emotional it made him to be back involved with the Boomers program, that's what it means to so many of us. It's everything to play for your country and especially at a major tournament. So I think he was someone that I always listened to a lot from the beginning because he's such a great guy, but he's also had such a great basketball journey. And to hear him talk about playing for the Boomers as the most important part of all of that entire journey is pretty incredible.
特に親しくしているのがデイビッド・バーローっていう選手で、メルボルンでもプレーしてたんでババッと見てた人とかは覚えてると思うんですけど、彼は非常に特殊なキャリアを送っていて、怪我だったり役割が変わるだったり、もともとガードやってたのがビッグマンになったりとか、その役割の変更とかいろんなものに対応しながらずっとプレーしてて、でそれの役割変更の過程にあったからだったりとか怪我があったりとかで代表に選出されない時期とかもあって、ただ2019年のワールドカップでそれこそ怪我人の代わりにまた選出されて、でその時の、彼の姿勢だったりとかすごい感情的になって、すごい喜んでたんですよね。その代表の大きい大会でプレーまたできるっていうことで、そういうのを見てるとやっぱりそのオーストラリア代表でプレーすることっていうのの姿勢を物語ってるなっていうのを感じるので、彼のキャリアを追ってるのが一番影響、自分のその代表に対する思いっていうのに影響してるな。
去年アジアカップで優勝したと思うんですけど、結構タフな試合が、僕は一通り全部見てたんですけど、タフな試合が多い印象があって、優勝するまでに大変だったこととか、どうやってチームをまとめてタフな大会を乗り切ったかとか、ちょっとそういう話聞きたいです。
You guys won the Asia Cup last year, but looking back at all your games, it seems like you guys had a lot of tough games that you had to overcome.What were some of the tough moments that you experienced during that tournament? How did the team overcome it?
There was lots of moments where we could have panicked. I'm glad we didn't. The game against Japan was one of them, where we felt like we were in a good position and we were playing well, and then all of a sudden it was just 3-pointers were coming from everywhere. It was like, how do we stop this? So I think, and then the Lebanon game was similar. The final, it was really close, and then we built a lead, and I don't think we took our foot off the pedal. I think they just, threw everything at us, and it was similar to Japan. It was just like, all right, we're coming at you with everything, and then all of a sudden it was like, wow, okay. So yeah, I think. We were a bit of a younger group that Asia Cup. The previous Asia Cup 4 years ago in Lebanon, we were much older, much more experienced. We kind of, without trying to be disrespectful, we really dominated a fair few teams there because we just never took the foot off the gas. Whereas this group in Jakarta were a bit more inexperienced, and I think at times we just didn't execute when we needed to finish the game. and then teams punished us for it. So, but at the same time, the group didn't panic, which was really, really good, because it would have been easy, when Japan started making all these threes, to just suddenly get caught up in the moment and go, oh, we can't stop this. We've got to try and do the same. We had some really good calm mentalities, and it helped us because, you're playing against really good players and really good teams. They're going to make shots eventually.
It seems like it's hard to have young players not panic, and play calmly. Did you have a part in this, or how?
I mean, I think that's part of, over the course of the tournament, I got to know guys a little bit better. I can't take credit because they're the ones that made the plays. Guys like Will McDowell-White played really, really well, and I felt really comfortable with him having the ball in his hands. And then Tyrese Proctor was another one who just found a way to make good plays for us. And for such a young guy who would make a mistake, and then the next play he would kind of not carry that over, like he wouldn't then all of a sudden try and make up for it right away. He just had a really good confidence to him where he knew, all right, well, I'll make up for that one when I need to. So we just had a lot of guys make really big plays in that sense, and they deserve the credit for making sure they just stayed with what the team was trying to do and not just go one-on-one.
So I guess a lot of as a team itself, I guess you guys just cheered players on, like even through mistakes. Like, so it was a lot. I guess it was like a growing up phase, even during the tournament for the team itself.
Yeah, definitely. It was definitely a chance to expose some younger guys to that level of competition, but also like to have some guys who, guys like Thon Maker, who is a really good player, and he just came back from the NBA. And Thon could have had an ego. Thon could have came in and said, I want this many shots and I want this many plays. None at all. Thon just said, I want to get back to playing for Australia, and this is a chance to do that, and I'm healthy. And in the Asia Cup, he was great. You could go up to him and have conversations, and you could talk about, if he made a mistake, and say, hey, sorry fellas, I need to be better. And that's the kind of unselfish, players that we want playing for Australia, and that's what helps us win. If guys come in thinking all about themselves, and if I play really well, maybe an Asian team offers me a contract, it's the wrong mentality. It's just about winning, and everything else will take care of itself.
結構やっぱりタフな大会だってっていうのは間違いなくて、パニックしてもおかしくないタイミングっていうのはかなりあって、で、日本戦もそうだったんですよ。日本戦最初オーストラリア結構勝ってたんですけど、後半になって日本のスリーがすごい入り始めて、すごい追い上げられたんですけど、そのタイミングでもなんかパニックしなくて落ち着いて対処できたっていうのが良かった。で、決勝のレバノン戦も結構リーグをしてからも決して別にその後気を緩めたわけでもなかったんですけど、レバノン自体がすごい追い上げを見せてきて2点差とかだよね、決勝戦確か。
そうですね。
なんでそれは一個理由としてあるのがいつもより若いチームだったっていうのが、結構ロスター見ると分かるんですけど、いつも見るオーストラリア代表のメンバーでは決してなくて、結構若手、NBL で活躍してる若手選手が多いロスターだったんで、それで優勝できたっていうのはやっぱり大きくて、でその若手ながらもそんなに結構落ち着いてみんなプレーしてたっていうのが特徴的で、そのタフになっちゃうのはどうしても終盤の遂行力の差が出ちゃう。そのかつてのベテランのチームとかができてたことが若いチームだとできないっていうのがあるんで、そこでちょっと崩れちゃうっていうのがあるんですけど、それでもそのミスした後も次のプレーに引きずらなかったりとか、その辺の落ち着きを持ってプレーできてたのは若い子たちが、すごいなっていうのが彼の印象。その辺は僕はきっとミッチ結構影響してたと思うんですけど、彼はすごい謙虚にプレーしてたのは彼らだから自分のおかげとは言えないっていう話をしてましたけど、でもああいう高いレベルの大会に若手のロスターで挑めるっていうのは、その若手を伸ばすいい機会になったっていうのはやっぱりあって、であと若手じゃないですけどソンメーカーはその NBA へのキャリアを終えてっていうか、NBA からいなくなってどうしようみたいな時期にこの大会に参加してて、で NBA で俺やってきたんだぜっていうエゴを持っててもおかしくなかったんですけど、そういうのは持ってなくて、さっき話してたオーストラリア代表のメンタリティみたいなのをしっかり持ってて、またオーストラリアでプレーできるっていうことにすごい感謝しながらプレーしてくれたんで、そういう思いを優先してくれたっていうのがかなり大きかったなっていう。で、選手たちもアジアでの大会だから活躍したらアジアのどっかのリーグで契約もらえるかなとか、そういう思いでプレーしてるとやっぱりチームって一体感持てないんで、それをなくできたっていうのが大きいかなっていう。
So, you got a championship too in the Asian Cup in the 2017 and last year. So both of the tournament you were in the roster and you against some Asian team. Did you feel some raising the level of the Asian basketball in that 5 years or something like?
Do I think that we have? I don't want to speak because I don't know. I didn't really know in playing it before, so it's hard for me to comment on what the level was before. I know that there was perhaps a misunderstanding from outside viewers about how strong some of the Asian teams were. I think everyone just might have looked and gone, what NBA players are where, oh, that means they're good. And we didn't think that, but I think a lot of people didn't think as much of so many Asian teams. And then when we went over there and played, and they're realizing, oh, they're pretty good. Like there's lots of talent everywhere. So I hope that the level continues to rise. I think from 2017 to last year, it was definitely a stronger tournament. It was definitely a lot more difficult to finish games with big leads. Leads got much tighter. It seemed like there was a lot more strong teams and not so many teams that you were just confident. I'd take Chinese Taipei as an example of someone who really struggled in 2017, and then last year they were really good. They were knocking on the door of making a finals appearance in that tournament. So I think there's we never went into any game thinking we're going to win this easy. It's not. The level is strong.
アジアのレベルが上がってるかどうかっていう話ですけど、前をそこまで知らないから、多くは語れないんですけど、やっぱりアジアのチームに対するこれはあれね、ミッチがどうとかではなくて、全体的にアジアのチームに対する印象っていうのがそんなに持ってない人も多くて、でそういう中で意外とうまいんだなって思った人は多分多いと思うっていう。で確実に大会自体のレベルは上がっていて、でこれまでだったら大差でリードできてたのが、そういったリード自体も差が縮んでるし、でリードしてても追い上げられるようになったりとか、守りづらくなってるっていう感覚はある。で例として挙げてたのがチャイニーズ・タイペイ、台湾は前の大会だとそんなに結果出せてなかったんですけど、この間の大会だとやっぱりすごくて、でどんどん勝ち上がる手前ぐらいまでは来てたんで、レベルアップをやっぱり肌で感じてますね。
ありがとうございます。今年ワールドカップがあると思うんですけど、なんか参加の意欲とかあるかぜひ聞きたいんですけど。
So the World Cup is this year.
In Japan.
In Japan, actually. So, how are you looking forward? You have to make the roster first, but are you looking forward to it, or how do you prepare for like a World Cup like this?
Yeah, it's a funny one because in my individual situation, there's not a lot of guard spots really available. If everybody from the NBA puts their hand up and if that's who they select, then I can't really think of a guard spot that's available. We've got so much talent in Australian basketball that is currently playing overseas, and so from that perspective, like I've been very fortunate, and I've played so many of these World Cup qualifiers, and I've got a lot of confidence from that. But then obviously, we want the best team possible out there. So while I would love to be a part of it, you just never know who's going to be in that squad and who's injured. So you just have to keep working, and at the end of the day, you just want the best for the country. You know, it's disappointing when you miss out. I mean, I've missed out a couple of times now where I got cut very late, you know, out of a squad, and you want to be a part of an Olympics or a World Cup, and it's very exciting. But at the end of the day, like, I was sitting there cheering for Australia when we won the bronze medal, because you just want the best for the country, and you know, ideally one day you're a part of that, but sometimes that it's just not possible with so many good guards.
結構自分としては複雑なポジションにいるんですけど、そのガード選手の枠がそんなにないんですよね。で、NBA 選手が全員手を挙げると多分ガードの枠が埋まっちゃうぐらいなんで、その中で自分がチームに入れるかっていうのはもう怪我の状況だったりとか、誰が手を挙げるかによって全然変わってきちゃうので、なかなか参加できるって予想するのがなかなか難しい状況なんですけど、まあでも予選自体はすごく自分が多く戦えているので、その自信はやっぱりあるっていう。でも最終的には誰がいるかわからないので、まあ国のために一番のチームをやっぱり送り込みたいっていう気持ちが強い。ベストチームを送り込むことが国にとって一番なので、で、まあ最後の最後まで残ってカットされちゃうってことは何度もあったので、でも悔しい思いはあるけど、で理想としては自分がそこにいてね参加してるっていうのが一番なんですけど、もう最終的には一番その中で一番のチームを送り込んで終わってみれば応援してたなっていう気持ちになります。
うん。なんか一緒に今までプレーしたことなくて、オーストラリア代表で一緒にプレーしてみたい選手とかっていますか
？Are there some players that you haven't played with yet? That is like a potential Boomer player?
I've never played with Patty Mills. I've been at a training camp with him and done some scrimmages on his team, and it was a lot of fun. But I've never played a proper game for Australia with him. I always love playing with Nick Kay, who's obviously playing in the B League. We're really good friends, and it would be great to play with him again. I think Patty Mills is the main. Joe Ingles is the same. I've never played with Joe Ingles or Patty Mills, those older guys. I think I've played with some of the younger guys, but yeah, it would be great to share the floor with Patty in an Australian jersey.
パーティー・ミルズと、ジョー・イングルズ、多分ガード枠で被るからっていうのと思うんですけど、は一緒にプレーしたことなくて、パーティーとかはその母国でキャンプやってるとか、そういうのには参加して一緒に面識もあるし、あるんだけど、コートに一緒に立ったってことはなくて、なんで、そうですね、パーティーと一緒にできたら嬉しいなっていうのがあって、あとニック・ケイはすごい仲が良くて、また一緒にプレーしたいなっていう気持ちがあるっていう。
ありがとうございます。Yeah, I want to ask you I'm a huge fan of the Delhi. How is your impression playing with him? Do you have any great story with him?
Yeah, he is the, I guess you would say, embodiment of someone that just lives to play for Australia. You know, like I talked earlier about, you know, Paddy and Joe Ingles and Bogut and how they were influential. Dellavedova is the exact same, and he loves playing for Australia. He loves talking about, you know, Australian basketball, and you can just see the passion when we played in Melbourne together in that series, and you can just see he just is right at home, and he's super confident in his game and his shooting, and it's just different, you know, when you put your Australian jersey on compared to a club jersey, it's just a different sense of pride, and Paddy absolutely gets the most out of himself in that sense. So it's awesome being his teammate.
デイリーは本当にオーストラリアのためにプレーする気持ちを体現したような選手で、オーストラリアの情熱がやっぱりものすごく高いっていう。なんでそこで一緒にプレーしてるとやっぱり楽しいし、その気持ちも伝わってくるっていうので、やっぱ自信を持ってすごいプレーしてるっていうのがかなり大きいっていう。で、やっぱクラブチームのユニフォーム着てるときと代表のチームのユニフォーム着てるときでやっぱり気持ちがちょっと変わってくるっていうのは彼はすごく強いんじゃないかなっていう。で、あとパティも同様だと思う。
Thank you so much. Daily One
the shoes changing your basketball life. The soft upper is constructed of Uturai mesh and KPU foam. The heel pod equipped with peak touch foam cushioning. Put on and you too can be the Nigedova. Let's search peak spots now.
So I want to talk with you about I think that you have some relationship with the Japanese, like you played against Japan in the World Cup qualifier or something, and you also experienced the teammate of the Yudai Baba. So yeah, next I wanna talk around that. And 結構日本代表と戦ってると思うんですけど、日本代表って最近ヘッドコーチが変わって、でシステムも変わって、で多分参加するプレイヤーとかも結構様変わりしたと思うんですけど、なんかこうその変化みたいのを戦う相手としてこう感じてるかっていうのをちょっと聞いてみたいです。
So you've played against Japan quite a number of times, I think, but they've recently had a coaching change and changed their system totally, and a lot of different players are being called up right now. As a player from a rival country, how are you watching the Japan go through its change?
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like the change that's been made is just trying to maximize the three-point line. They're playing super fast. They're shooting a bunch of three-pointers, and they're just relentless in their attack and their pace. Obviously, Japan's always been an athletic team, and they play very fast, and they got a lot of quick guards and little guards. But I feel like the emphasis on their three-pointers right now, I think they broke some kind of record in their game recently. And just watching them play, it's like if you give them any kind of space, they're just shooting with such confidence. And that's always fun to watch. It's fun to see. I'm sure the players enjoy that kind of system as well, where the coach is encouraging them to, be yourself and play aggressively. And we saw a little bit of that in the Asia Cup, in guys just, if you gave them any kind of room, they were like, all right, I'm going to shoot the shot. I think in previous years, players might have been a bit more hesitant. They might have been a bit more, oh no, like I've got to do the right thing and I've got to, do what the system says. And now that you can just see them, they just, if they get space, they push with the dribble, they find each other in the perimeter and they let it fly. So, if you let them get going early on, it's going to be a really tough game to win.
そうですね。日本自体非常にスリーがやはり注意しないといけないチームになってきてて、でその素早いプレーとかアタックとペースにすごい重点を置いて今やってる、ホーバススタイルなんですけど、もともとね、そのクイックなガードが多いとかはもともとあったんですけど、最近はやっぱりそのスリーっていうのが一番大きな変化で、少しでもスペース与えると自信持ってそのシュート放ってくるっていうのがやっぱりこれまでと違うなっていう。でアジアカップでもそれが少し垣間見えたかなっていう。でかつてはなんかちょっと躊躇するようなことがあったようなシーンでも、今だとすごいシュートしてくるか、ドライブからペリメーターの、選手見つけてパスアウトしてスリー打ってくるとか、そういうのがかなり変わってきてるなっていうので、特に序盤で乗せちゃうと良くないチームだなっていう印象になってる。
ありがとうございます。Who is the what do you think about who is the most dangerous player in the Japanese roster right now?
Well, full strength. Obviously, Yuta Watanabe is extremely talented, and he's a matchup problem. As I was talking about before, it's kind of like, he's obviously athletic and he can put the ball on the floor, but he's really tall and he shoots really well. So, and then you add in Rui Hachimura as well. So, those NBA guys are only going to make the team stronger. I always loved playing against Yudai Baba because he was super entertaining to watch. You're watching the scout and you're like, man, this guy's so fast, and he attacks the rim and he's aggressive, and I always enjoyed those matchups. So I'd probably say Yudai. I'm a little biased because obviously he was my teammate and I want him to do well. But yeah, I'd say Yudai is my favorite to watch.
恐れてるってことはないか。一番危険だなと 思う選手としては、まあ、フルの戦力で来るなら、やっぱ渡辺裕太選手はこうマッチアップでどうしても問題になる。さっき話してたそのアスレチックでドライブとかもできるけど、身長もあるから上からも出るし、そのポストもできるしみたいな、そこが一番やりにくいっていうのはあって、で、まあ、当然八村選手も入ってくるとやっぱ危険ですし、ただ、まあ、多少ひいき目はあるけど、その馬場雄大選手とやっぱ対戦するのが大好き。で、彼のことをスカウティングしてると、その本当にすごいなんか素早いプレーだったりとかリムアタックとか見てても、スカウティングの段階からして見てて面白いみたいな。で、まあ元チームメイトもっていうのもあって、彼が活躍してほしいっていう気持ちもあるんで、やっぱ一番見てて好きで楽しいのは馬場雄大。
なんかそれにちょっと関連してなんですけど、ちょっとお便りもらってたんですけど、今ずっと G リーグでその NBA に彼はチャレンジし続けて、で、まあ、メルボルンでプレーしてたのも、まあ、多分 NBA をこう目標にそこで高いレベルでって言ってオーストラリアでプレーしてたと思うんですけど、まあ、彼のその長所と、もしそのやっぱ NBA 選手になるためにって考えたときに、こうもっと改善しなきゃいけない点みたいのを、まあ、そばでプレーしてて何か思うことがあったらちょっとぜひ教えてほしいです。
So, regarding Baba, he has been playing in the G League for the past few.And even while in Melbourne, his ultimate goal is to always play in the NBA. So being his teammate and watching him play for the past few years, what do you think his strengths are, and what do you think he needs to improve to reach that goal?
I think his strengths are obviously his athleticism. His ability to turn defense into offense so quickly. You know, once he gets a steal, it's pretty much a layup or a dunk. He's just that fast, and he's really good at finishing. You know, likes going up and under, likes the reverse layup, and I think, you know, because he is so fast and athletic, you have to commit to trying to block him one way or another, and he's already adjusting midair, so it's too late for you to change. So I think he's really talented. He's got a nice shot. I think probably the one thing that he would want to do is continue to keep shooting the ball really, really well from the three-point line. Because if he can do that consistently and he just becomes that shooter that you just can't leave open, he becomes really difficult to guard, because now if you're flying out at him and he's then driving a closeout, well, you know, you're not keeping him in front too easily. So I think for him, as long as he can keep shooting the ball really well, like he's going to get a chance at playing in the NBA for sure.
まあ、強みは当然やっぱりその身体能力の高さで、特にやっぱりディフェンスからオフェンスに一瞬で変えられるっていうのが大きくて、まあ、スティール彼がしちゃえばもうすぐにレイアップとかダンクに持ち込めるっていうのはやっぱり強い。で、フィニッシュがうまいっていうのがやっぱり特徴としてあって、まあ、よくね、馬場選手のハイライト見ると大体リバースレイアップなんですけど、そのディフェンスとしてこの彼がドライブしてきた時にある程度こうブロック山を張ってここに打ってくるだろうっていうのをいくと、彼はやっぱりその身体能力高いから空中でそれに対して対応できるから、ああいうリバースレイアップで決めることが多いっていう。でやっぱショットもうまいけど、その3をコンスタントに決め続けることがやっぱり常に彼としては課題なのかなっていう。でそれさえコンスタントに決め続けていれば、そのオープンにしちゃいけない選手っていう認識になるし、でその彼がボール持った時にクローズアウトしてディフェンスがこう飛び込んできても、彼の場合はそれを抜く技術もあるので、まずはやっぱりその3をコンスタントに決め続けることっていう。
Do you think his defense, the Yudai Baba's defense, is good quality for the NBA level?
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, he's not super tall and he's not super long, but he's got such good feet and great footwork that, you know, he can pressure a guy and then, you know, he gets off and he gets back in front. He's very smart with his defense as well, and obviously he's got great hands, so that's why, you know, he gets deflections and he gets steals, because I think he's very clever at kind of you know, pushing the offense to think they've got an advantage, and then he can get back in front very quickly. So he did it to me at practice a lot, so I know. But obviously, yeah, he's not super tall, but his ability to pressure the ball is incredible.
ディフェンスに関してもやっぱ NBA レベルでも普通に通用するものだと思う。 思っていて、その身長と長さがすごいあるわけじゃないけど、馬場選手の場合フットワークがすごい良くて、でプレッシャーを与えてくる力がやっぱり強くて、でプレッシャーをこう与え続けるだけじゃなくて、ちょっと抜いてオフェンスに行けるって思わせる瞬間を作った後にその位置取りを変えて取りに行くっていうのもできる非常にうまい選手だなっていう。で手の出し方とかもクレバーなので、そのファウルせずに手出したりとか、そういういけると思わせていけなかったっていう風にさせるのが非常にうまくて、練習でもよくやられてたので、それはなんかよく知ってるっていう。
Do you still keep in touch with him?
Yeah, occasionally. Not all the time. But yeah, sometimes, especially because I was doing the Japanese snacks thing, so he was messaging me.
Yes.
Hey man, enjoy. So yeah, and I'm always trying to bring him back to Australia because I want to play with him again. So I always, throw the fishing line out there and hope that he comes back one day. But yeah, I just hope he's happy and enjoying basketball.
So you have spent the time with him playing the fishing.
It's like it's like a saying where it's like I'm trying to tempt him, like he's the fish and I'm the fisherman, and I'm trying to like
okay.
Hey, come back to Australia, come back.
Yeah, sorry for that. Yeah.
I think he mentioned that on away games you guys were roommates from time to time.
Yeah, we were roommates the whole season.
Oh, for the whole season. Okay. So how was that like spending time with him?
It was great. Yeah, he's such a good dude. It's like, obviously, like I find it difficult to explain to you guys because you obviously understand Japanese culture and what's important. For us, it was like I was shocked about how organized and tidy and clean he was, in the room. And obviously he was super respectful and such an incredibly kind person. But I felt like I was relatively clean. I kept certain things, and then Yudai Baba came along, and I was like, okay, I'm not that clean. He's just so everything was folded nicely and perfectly put in there, and I was like, man, this guy is on his A game. But no, it was a great experience. I love listening to him talk about his experiences and what he wanted to do, and his whole, as you mentioned, his mentality about trying to get to the NBA. And in life, he was just so focused on, I'm just trying to be the best player that I can be, and I want to chase my goal. And if that means that, I don't get there, that's okay, because I have a goal and I want to give everything I can to make it. So I really respected that about Yudai Baba, because I thought lots of guys just settle and they just take the easy path, and Yudai's really willing to put in the hard work and living away from home and to try and achieve that goal while he can.
So he really practiced his English before going overseas, but I believe his English grew a lot during his time in Australia. Did you feel that as well?
Definitely. He the first week he was pretty hesitant to kind of open up about it, and he kept saying, oh no, I have to learn and I don't speak it that well. But he did. He spoke it well and he understood well. And once he obviously started to build relationships, he was able to ask questions and say, can you say that again? Or what do you mean by that? So no, I thought he did really, really well. And by the end of the season, he was able to, he wasn't really asking questions. You could just have full conversations with him about life, basketball, school, family, friends, whatever. And he could go back and forth. So I can only speak one language. So to me, it was impressive.
It seemed like watching the games, he was one of the fan favorites in the arena.
Yep.
Was it really like that? Like, did fans really like him?
Yeah, they did, all around the league. I think, and that's what I mean. He's just exciting. I don't know why. Like, it's obviously he's athletic and he's quick, but he's just got this confidence and this athleticism and speed to him that's just different from every player out here in Australia. And I think, Chris Golding has always been the fan favorite of Melbourne United for so many years. And, Chris could have a really bad game. Everyone knows he's going to bounce back the next game, and the whole crowd will cheer him. So I always thought it was like Chris, and then all of a sudden, Yudai Baba comes along and he's like the next fan favorite, like game 1 or game 2, everyone's cheering for him. So everyone quickly fell in love with him, and his personality just shines bright too. You can just tell how good of a person he is.
Yeah, that was really good to see. and being loved by the Australians.
Yep.
馬場選手とは、たまに連絡するレベルで、たまに SNS でこうやり取りとかするんですけど、個人的にオーストラリアでまた一緒にプレーしたいと思ってるから、ちょいちょい誘ったりはするらしいんですけど、また来てねっていうので、彼は本当にすごいいい人だなっていうのがもうにじみ出てて、で、メルボルン時代、そのアウェーの遠征中はシーズン通してルームメイツだったんですね、ミッチと馬場選手は。で、そこを通して、日本の文化だったりとか、その整理整頓とか、綺麗に過ごすのがなんだろう、そういう日本的なところをすごい見れたのが面白かったっていうのと、あとすごいリスペクトを持って接してくれるっていうので非常に大好きな選手なんですけど、自分自身もミッチは自分自身も割と整理整頓してる方だと思ってたけど、馬場選手はもう格上だったんで、もう馬場選手と比較すると俺全然ダメだっていう気持ちになるぐらいすごいしっかりした性格で、その遠征中にね、彼の話だったりとか夢を聞いたりするのも非常に楽しかったし、で、彼のメンタリティとして常にこう自分のなれるベストプレイヤーになるっていうことを常にこう目標に置いていて、でその目標を追うことの大切さで、そこに 100% を出すことの大切さ、でたとえその達成ができなかったとしても、そこに自分がしっかりと 100% を出し切ったんだっていう考え方でやってるのは本当に素晴らしいことでリスペクトしてるなっていう。で、結構多くの選手がね、一番楽な道を選んじゃう選手の方が多かったりする中、かなり海外でプレーして自分の厳しい環境に置いてってやってる姿勢は本当に素晴らしいっていう。で、英語は馬場選手、僕の感覚なんですけど、オーストラリアいるの間にすごい成長したなっていう気持ちで見てたんですけど、実際に最初に来た時はすごい躊躇して話してて、すごい遠慮しがちな感じで、まだちょっと英語ちゃんと喋れないからちょっと会話あんまりできないなみたいな雰囲気だったのが、だんだん慣れていって、こう今のどういう意味とか、ちょっともう一度言ってもらっていいっていうのを積極的に向こうの方からどんどん聞いてくれてたので、それによってどんどんコミュニケーションもすごいスムーズになっていって、最終的にはそのバスケ以外でもそういった夢の話だったりとか目標の話だったりとか、そういうフルに会話ができるようになってたっていう。で、馬場選手の試合、メルボルン時代の試合見てるとすごいファンに愛されてるなっていう雰囲気があったんですけど、それが本当なのかっていうのを聞いてみたところ、本当メルボルンだけじゃなくてリーグ中に愛されてて、やっぱり彼の自信を持ってプレーするスタイルとか、あと身体能力の高さとスピードっていうのはオーストラリアでもすごいレアなものなので、それを見てるだけで楽しいっていうファンがやっぱり多かったっていう。で、メルボルンはそのクリス・ゴールディングが非常に愛されてる選手なんですけど、急に馬場選手が来たらそれに次ぐ2位の愛されキャラになったっていうことでびっくりしたっていう話でした。
McCarron, as time expires, Mitch McCarron with a bomb. Now it's United downhill. What a pass from McCarron to Baba. The lead is 7, and Mike Kelly says, "I need a TikTok timeout." Here we go again, going scrambles for it.
Okay, so I have a last question. So I got a question in English, so I'm going to read that. Okay, this is from the Sohei Oshiba. Hi Mitch, I'm Sohei Oshiba. I publish Japanese basketball magazine called Dabdori with Rail. You can see the behind of the rail, you can see the red book. That is one of the most famous Japanese basketball magazine called Dabdori.
Cool.
This is a Keisei Tominaga. Maybe you play against that.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, one day please join the magazine and
I need to check it out.
Okay, so let's go back and Thank you for appearing in my favorite podcast. I have some questions about how Australians see B League. Recently, 5 Australian players chose to play in B League. Is B League becoming a popular option for Australian players? Have you ever heard any reputation of B League? Have you ever considered playing in B League? I hope we can see you playing in B League someday. Thank you. Yep, this is a question from Sohei Oshiba.
Yeah, so I would love to come and play in Japan. It's funny when you talk to so many Australians, not just basketball, but when they travel and they experience Japan, they just love it. You know, they just can't wait to go back. The people, the cities and the culture, they just love it. And basketball is no different. You know, the majority of players that go over there, if you talk to the players now, some of my good friends, Nick Kay, Reese Vague, Angus Brandt, they just rave about it. And obviously, I think obviously the money is good sometimes for players, and that's always attractive for Australians to go over there. And especially it seems like some of our bigs, you know, 4s and 5s are really attractive. Sam Froling is over there now as well. I think Brock Modem is there in Japan as well.
That's right.
So like from our perspective, it's like great for them. You know, if you can go over there and live in a different country where there's great people and there's great culture and there's good food, then go, you know, enjoy it. So, I would love to play in Japan, you know, but I'm also only 6'3", so, you know, I don't have it as easy as some of the Aussie bigs, but maybe one day.
日本を経験した選手とかの話を聞くと、みんな絶賛して帰ってくるっていうのが特徴としてあって、で特に今自分と仲いいニック・ケイ、リス・ベイグ、アンガス・ブラントは今 B リーグでプレーしてるんですけど、やっぱみんな絶賛してるっていう。でお金がいいっていうのももちろんあると思うんですけど、そういった違う国の文化にいながらもすごいそれを楽しんで、いいバスケットボールできてやれるっていうなら本当に最高だと思うので。で最近もサム・フローリングとかブロック・モータムとかどんどんオーストラリアの結構代表クラスの選手がガンガン来てるので、すごい。でただ見てるとどうしてもその4番5番ら辺の選手が行って活躍してることが多くて、僕もぜひ日本でプレーしたいっていう気持ちはあるけど、6フィート3しかないんでそこのチャンスがあるかどうかっていうのはちょっとわからない。
Yeah, recently you you enjoy the Japanese snacks. Which one is which one is the best for you? Best for you guys?
Yeah, it's a tough one. We had a few, didn't we? Maybe I think it's called the Thunder Butter Cookie.
It's like a chocolate cookie.
Yeah, like a bar. Oh, that was good. The corn, it was like the corn soup bites. I think they were called potaja. I don't know how to pronounce it. Yeah, I don't have my booklet around me. It was like corn soup flavor.
Okay.
And they were really good too. And then my wife was enjoying some of the different Kit Kat flavors that we can't get here.
Kit Kat, okay.
She was enjoying that.
Those are really popular. Even like NBA players, when they come, they would buy like matcha flavored, tea flavored.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, my wife liked the matcha. Yeah, I was like, yeah.
最近なんかインスタで日本のお菓子をひたすら食べてレビューしてるみたいなことをめっちゃやってて、でお気に入りをちょっと聞いたんですけど、多分ブラックサンダーとうまい棒ですかね。うまい棒のコンポタージュ味。
コンポタージュ味って言ってたんですよ。
と、キットカットの抹茶ですかね。多分、インスタにあるかな。なんか残ってる気もするんで、興味ある人はぜひ、チェックしてください。And, is this still okay? We have to finish?
No, it's okay.
Recently, this is question from me. Recently, the one Japanese YouTuber is trying to challenge the NBA 1. And have you ever played in NBA 1 during you belongs to the AIS?
The NBL 1?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm about to play in the NBL one Central. Obviously, there's different conferences just according to what state you're in. So last year I played in NBL one North, and this year I'll play in NBL one Central. So yeah, it's very competitive and it's getting better because now there's more and more clubs kind of joined into the league. So and because it doesn't run at the same time as the NBL. It means that NBL players can play in it as well. So it's going to be really competitive this year as well.
Okay. Is there any tryout or something? So do you have any advice for him? His name is Shun.
Any advice?
Yeah.
Yeah, my advice would be get in touch with me and I can help you find a team.
Oh, you can help me?
Yeah,
Okay.
sometimes it's difficult because we start next weekend. So it's very, very soon. So get in touch with me, send me a message and I can help.
Okay. Yeah, he said he gave up this season. He tried to join the next season, and he's now Sydney, and he's working out in Sydney, and it's okay. Actually, I'm not a friend of him, but I will let him know.
You can send me a message.
Okay. Thank you so much. You're so huge for Japanese.
No problem.
じゃあ最後になんか今後の目標みたいなことを聞いて終わりにしたいかなと思うんですけど。
はい。So to wrap things up, let me finish with asking you about goals for the near future and a long-term goal.
Yeah, goals for the near future would be, well, in an ideal world, I would make the World Cup team. But I guess that's kind of out of my control now because, the squad will be coming up soon. Goals for the long term would probably be to try and make, I think it's Paris is the next Olympics. And to try and win another NBL championship next year. And then I'll be off contract after next season in the NBL. So I have to make a decision about where I want to kind of finish my career, I suppose, how much longer I want to play for, and whether I sign in Australia, whether I go overseas, and all of that to finish my career. So that'll probably be the long-term goal about what city do I want to finish playing basketball in. But short-term wise, it's just trying to make Australian teams and help our country win.
Is coaching something you want to get into or no?
Yeah, I love coaching. Very interested in doing that. I think it's obviously, you have to go through the pathways, and there might be some different options once I finish playing about where I do that. Do I try and be a college assistant coach? Do I work my way up here in Australia? Do I go overseas and run a development program or something like that? But yeah, I definitely want to be coaching basketball in some capacity.
今後の目標では、一番近しい話で言うと、理想的には、世界、理想的にはそのワールドカップのチームに入って、活躍することですけど、そこはちょっと自分が制御できることではないので、そこはどうなるかわからない。で、長期的には、次のオリンピックがパリなんで、パリ五輪、そして、次のシーズンの NBL で優勝することで、その翌シーズンで契約が切れるので、その後どこでキャリアを終えたいかっていうのをちょっと考えないといけないことで、オーストラリアで続けるのか、海外に行くのかっていうのはちょっと検討していきたい。で、コーチすることに興味あるのか聞いてみたところはかなりあるようで、それはどういうふうにコーチになっていくかっていうのもいろいろ選択肢があるので、大学のアシスタントになるのかとか、オーストラリアで続けてればなれるのかとか、あとは海外に行ってそういうのを経験するのかとか、そういったところはいろいろ考えないといけないけど、その将来的にどこかしらでコーチはぜひしていたいっていう話でした。
ありがとうございます。Okay, so everything has been done. So I want to say thank you again. I'm actually not a media person, just a normal person, and I do this podcast like just one of my hobby. So yeah, this is a so great experience for me, and yeah, I'm going to visit to see you everywhere you go.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I really appreciate it.
And supporting
you.
you forever.
So
Promise you.
he's seriously a crazy Australian fan for some reason.
Even
I
so
appreciate
Japanese.
We see the graphics, the pictures. And, we love them. Thank you.
Because even when you guys played in Japan, he went to the game wearing an Australian jersey.
But they lost. They lost
Yeah,
against
we
Japan.
lost.
Yeah.
I'm
Thanks a lot.
crying.
So thanks for your time. It's great talking to you.
Thank you. Nice talking to you too.
Thank you so much. So the first, I'm going to stop the recording.
ラベッドバ